Creating a new project is pretty straightforward. When you first sign up for Writing Habit, you'll land on the dashboard. The dashboard has these shortcuts that will allow you to very quickly jump into one of Writing Habit's experiences. However, we're going to walk you through the manual project creation process today. When you click the Create button, you can select Standard Project. Inside of a standard project, we have a little quick start page, but we're going to skip that too and go to the full project setup. On the full project setup, you always have to enter a title, so we're just going to generically fill that in. Next, for your goals, there's 3 different types of goals that you can set. Your daily word goal, your expected total words for your entire manuscript, and lastly, how many words you want in each chapter, so that you have a chapter goal. You can also set a completion deadline. So I'm just going to very quickly set something in the future and then indicate which days of the week that I plan to write. In this particular situation, if I want to hit 80,000 words by November 19th, then I need to write 630 words per day. But let's say I'm going to remove 3 of those days. Then I'll need just a little bit over 1,100 words. So this is how you get your project started and get your goals in place so that you have some things that are helping you feel successful as you meet these goals and targets. The daily goals in particular will give you stretch goals. So as soon as you meet your goal, it'll encourage you to go just a little bit further so that you can get more words written and finish your novel. Next, let's talk about importing. When you import something from, let's say, an HTML file or a Word document, it's relying on heading styles. So if you've used heading styles for chapter names, it will automatically break up your project into individual chapters. If you have not, it will think it's one big file, which won't work. Let's talk a little bit about Google Docs though. Because Google Docs supports tabs, we support a variety of different formats, and I'm going to show you a few of those now. This is the first example. Just look over here on the left-hand side. So if you built your chapters as individual tabs, and then you have sections like notes and world building with additional documents, these are keywords or sections in Writing Habit that will automatically map these to a particular type of document in your reference materials. If it's not one of these special names, specifically notes, world building, story structure, etc., then it won't be considered a codex document. You will get a chance during import to be able to select what type of content each document is. So again, this is just raw chapters outside and then specially named tabs with sub-tabs for content areas. Writing Habit will pick this up. Our next example is almost the same, but having a manuscript folder. So if you name it manuscript, we're going to expect that everything in there is part of your project. And you can either put it all in a single tab, or you can have individual tabs per chapters, and both will work. This is showing you using a sub-tab under manuscript for your chapters. The next example is showing that you have only a tab called manuscript that has all of your chapters inside of it in that single tab. And again, this is going to use those heading styles to determine where to break your single tab content up. So once again, this is using the heading style to know how to break up the tab into individual chapters. And the last example is simply having a single tab document with all of your content in that document, much like the previous one, but it doesn't have to be named manuscript. Any of these formats will work when you import something into Writing Habit. To be able to import a document, you will have to grant us permission to read from your Google Drive and allow you to select which document you want to import. So when you click Browse Google Docs, it will show the picker after you provide some permissions to Google for us to access that information. This is the picker. In our case, we're just going to pick Import Test 1. Once it's done, it gives you a summary of what it found here at the top, and as you scroll down, you can see that it found 6 documents. Of those 6 documents, 2 are considered chapters, and if you were to change this to a different type, it would move it before you created your project. And below that, because you had a world building tab, it classifies that as world building content, and any sub-tabs also as world building content. Same for notes. Again, these are those special names that if you use these tabs as a name in the Google Doc, it will map to Writing Habit codex documents. Once again, once you've selected your document and you click Create Project, you can set some settings here that will apply a visual style. Once it's done, it's going to drop you inside of the planning experience. We're going to go ahead and skip the product tour. So at this point, you're set up and good to go after importing your project. If you ever need to change your goals, you can visit Settings. To begin writing, you can either click this arrow to navigate directly into the document or click on the Write tab. And that's how you create a project on Writing Habit.